In this exercise, we'll be inflating the table view with the respective cells depending upon the index at which cell is about to come. So we'll be implementing now, as we discussed in the last exercise, that cell will be reused by the system. So before we go for creating a cell, we need to make sure that is a cell exist in the memory or not. If it exists, I'll reuse the same cell by setting up its data differently than the data what he had previously. So for implementing the reusability, you need to define each cell with a unique identifier. Now cell belonging to one table will have same identifier, so that system comes to know, okay, this cell is needed. Is it available? Okay, it's available. Give it to this table. Okay. So now the first line, I'll say my cell equal to table of apps DQ with reusable identifier. So this will check whether a cell with an identifier apps exists in a memory or not, and you do typecast to UI table view cell. Now if this cell doesn't exist, so you'll say if my cell is equal to nil, then you need to create the my cell. Now the frame management, whenever we have learned anything in view, we'll say we need to initialize with the frame, but the frame management will be taken care by the UI table view internally, because the same cell might be getting repeat in a different position and a user is constantly scrolling the cells. So UI table view says I'll manage the frame. Instead of that, it gives you an option called style. Now depending upon the style, the wireframe of the table view cells are predefined. So there are 4 predefined cells. One is default with only one label. There's a subtitle with 2 labels. There's value 1 with 1 image view, 1 label. Value 2 again with 1 image view and 1 label. So we'll start with the default one. So I'll say style dot default, and we'll use the same identifier. So if we don't find cell with the identifier apps, we'll be creating a cell with an identifier apps. Now once you create the cell, depending upon a type, you will be getting the blue label, the blueprint. So for default, you have one UI label called text label, and the text label will have text as a property. I'll say row, and I'll return the cell. Now you have to make sure one thing, that when I say table, you always say number of columns and number of rows, whereas in UI table view or in a mobile industry, when we see table, it's only number of rows and single column. This is because it helps to process the reusability of cells faster. So if you want to create multi-column, then you have to create a custom cell, and in that you have to draw a vertical line. So it's at a view level, okay, of the cell, not at the table level. Okay, so now width of the each cell will be same as the width of the table view. I will run the app and see the output. Now I'm getting same row, I mean same content. I need to have a different content at a different row. So I'll use a format specifier slash, I'll say index path dot row. So index path has a property called row. Now when I run this and go to apps folder, I'll find row 0 to row 9. So I got a different content respect to index path.row. So depending upon index path.row, you will be inflating the cell with the respective element. Now in the next exercise, we'll be seeing how to inflate this table view by using array of string.